Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. No, it's good afternoon. I'm so used to evening, saying good evening.
It's
Good
actually evening, it's
afternoon.
4 p.m. here.
Oh, it is 4 p.m. Jefferson is just reminding me. Hello, everyone. Who's going to join us? Hello, who's there? I know somebody is there. Say hello. Say hello. Good afternoon. Hello, Yemi. Good afternoon. I'm so used to saying evening, but it is evening here in Ukraine. It's 4 p.m. Hello, Reverend Rosaline. How are you? Hello, Julie. Good evening. Thank you for joining, or good afternoon. Good afternoon, stroke evening, or even morning if you're in the US. So I just want to say hello to everyone. Hi, Clemsy. Hello, Romanos. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Hello, Bola. As you've seen in the title already, hello, Alayami. This is an interview with the HMT graduates. So this is post HMT train the trainer interview, and I thought it would be a good idea. Actually, we thought, not me, not just me, that it would be a good idea to share the experience of the graduates with you in their own words, where they can tell you how they felt before, how they're feeling after now, and what they're going to do differently when they get back to their various destinations. So we're here with the first person. A few of them have left, but we still have some here. So I'm going to do these interviews back to back. Thank you, Reverend Rosalind. It's 2 p.m. in UK. So I'll do it back to back. As I'm finishing with Jefferson, I'm going to come back with somebody else. So it's going to be an exciting afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are. And it's going to be back to back. At least we're going to have maybe 4 interviews in total. It would be short, it would be snappy, but it will be informative. So here we go. The first person that we've got here is Jefferson Uzoma. You already know him. Most of you would. So I'm going to turn the camera to say hello to him, and then we'll start the interview. Thank you for joining. And guys, before I go, please help me share. You know, I like saying that, and I know that you guys like hearing it as well. So please do so. And by the way, it's Sunday today. I hope you've had a lovely Sunday. So let me just turn the camera and we will get started. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Jefferson Uzoma.
Hello, guys.
Good.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Maiwa, for having me on the show. It's my pleasure to share my experience with you guys and make you understand some of the things that we enjoyed during HMT and how it's been a blessing to us.
Okay, guys, I'm not going to interrupt by going back and forth, right? I just want all the graduates, including Jefferson, that is right here in front of me, to just tell you a few things about the train the trainer, what he got from it, and what he's going to take home now, and how he's going to do things differently. So this is the usual interview. I might interrupt at some point, but I would not like to. But just to tell you in advance, I wouldn't be turning my camera. I would just like Jefferson to do his own thing and just give us as many information as possible. Guys, please help to share this. Most people would not know that we're coming on because it's not a scheduled interview as we usually do. But, you know, DSA TV or DSA page, we know we like to give you as much information as possible to enlighten you, to keep you informed with everything that we're doing. So that's the reason why we're doing this right now. We thought it would be of great benefit to everyone at home, so that when you want to come next time, you know what to expect, and it is better to come from the graduates themselves rather than us telling you and giving you information as we know it. So Jefferson, I'm just going to hand the camera to you and let you do your thing. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Maiwa. Thank you for having me once more. Post HMT, pre HMT, I got here 2 days earlier before the program. I was actually basically trying to adjust to the jet lags. But, you know, eventually my body kind of like you know, began to adjust pretty quickly because I'm 7 hours behind on the U.S. Eastern Time. And then the HMT began with all the modules for HMT. But the beauty of the HMT training, trainers, is not like the usual regular HMT. It's different because this is meant for HMT graduates that want to go on to the next level of also producing other HMT graduates themselves. But I can tell you, HMT, the training itself is it's a well thought out package that is meant to help people who want to really maximize their Christian life, and it helps to refocus you to get, to begin to do what God has called you to do, and gives you tools that are necessary to help you begin to locate and identify the areas of impact that you can make an impact in, and continue to go in those areas. And one of the things that I feel like HMT in itself, the way it's designed to connect you to your inner strength, and also open you up to all the possibilities of things that you can actually be doing for God that you've not been doing. And not only for God, for yourself, because you owe it to yourself to discover your place in God. You owe it to yourself to discover your calling. You owe it to your generation to become who God has, planned that you can be, or who God has planned for you to be before the foundations of the world. So you owe it to yourself. All of these things are the things that you owe to yourself, that you have to be doing to help yourself navigate through life. And then coming for this training has been able to help me be on the driver's seat. So right now I can actually drive the sheep. I can move the sheep. I have all the compass was given to us, so we know how to navigate the sheep. It's one thing being in a sheep and going on a sail. Just imagine you were going on a cruise, and you're going on a cruise somewhere. It's another thing to be the captain, and you have a direction. So there's a different kind of training if you're a captain that is responsible for the lives of other people. You're responsible for their safety, well-being, and make sure they're taken care of, and all the hospitality that comes with it. You are also learn to how to navigate through different kinds of weather systems, and also have a direction of what the destination looks like. That is the difference between being in a captain position and also being in a passenger position. So I think HMT trainers puts you in a captain position where you actually would want to navigate the ship, driving other people to the destination where you find yourself, and all of the benefits that you got out of it. You can begin to be the same person that conveying all those benefits to other people and to impact your world. So that's what it looks like. All the courses have been designed specifically. We have some really nice courses, and then basically you understand the purpose behind those courses. Why those courses? It's one thing to have a course. It's another thing to understand, why do you have that course? What is the reason? What is the motivation that gave birth to that course? What is the end product you want to see? One thing is to learn something. Another thing is to teach the same thing. It puts you on a totally different platform. Learning something and teaching the same thing are two different things. Like sometimes, I remember back in school, the way I learn better is if I learn and I teach somebody else. I don't know if it's the same thing for you, but I notice for me, if I want to have a real understanding, have better impact, for me, I have to train somebody else in what I've just learned. Because there's something more that you begin to get out of it when you're training somebody. It puts you tend to have a 100 degrees grasp on that subject that you didn't have if you were just a student. There's something about repeating something over and over again to other people. So I believe maybe it's a law of repetition that kicks in once you start sharing the same thing you've learned. Once that law kicks in, it now begins to reinforce the things you've learned and kind of like help you stabilize. Wow. So that's how I see the trainer program. I also think it's pretty much like handing you a business.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty much like handing you a business. You know, they just carry a business and give you the business and ask you, you know, like it's like a franchise. Somebody come to you and say, "Oh, we have a franchise, and we're going to give you a franchise," and then you're running with that franchise, and you don't have to pay anything for the franchise. Literally, you know, I mean, whatever you paid to acquire the franchise is nothing compared to the value the franchise will deliver to you. So that's how I see it. I mean, I think it's just somebody handing you a business and all kinds of business. And not only that, if you look beyond what HMT is and say, now that I understand how this HMT is packaged, I can actually create a training for myself. I know, like, it's a marvelous tool. Now, if you begin to look into the resources and the materials that was, you know, given to us after the training, it's like somebody just showing you a blueprint to success. And you have one more reason why you cannot be a failure in life, because now you have the opportunity to build your own training around that same framework. You know, HMT has been widely successful. There are people who have been on it for 8 years, you know, 10 years or however long. But then if you go back and look at all the products that HMT produced, you're like, you know what? I think I want to build a training on success. I want to build a training on conversion. Maybe after this, I'm going to go build a training on conversion.
Wow.
You know, so you basically have a shell. You have a framework of how a training can be packaged. But it also helps you to understand the mind of the creator of HMT. How deep is that mind? The depths. Like, when I look at that whole framework, I'm marveled. Like, I haven't even thought to that level. There is a reason why someone else is in front of you. I'm not talking about people who look money or whatever, but basically people who motivate you, people who are leaders. Someone like DSA who motivates and lead. There's something he sees that we all don't see, basically, in his mind's eyes. The depths of his vision kind of like helps you understand how deep he thinks, you know, because now they begin to tell you the reason behind this was made, and not just only that, the ability to convert all that, you know, ideas and all that concepts and all that insights into a concrete product. You know, now that today we can actually refer to as a business being handed over to you. So it's one thing to have an idea, is another thing to be disciplined enough to stay with that idea until it is birthed. You know, you can birth that idea not just in writing, but in execution, and seeing the rewards of that idea that you actually give birth.
Wow. I feel like I should say something here just to give you a break. Hi everyone, I'm here listening and I'm like, wow. That's what I'm just doing here. Even though I was here, I was also doing some other work. So I'm not part of the HMT Train the Trainer student, but I did attend for support a few of the days. But wow, guys, have you heard everything that Jefferson just divulged to us right here? One of the things that I took down was, number one, him is like training you to be a captain of a ship, you know, on sea, you know. So to be a captain, and that really resonates so well with me. You know, a lot of us, we have our ship, which is our life, and we don't know where we're going. We're not trained. We don't have the right resources in order for us to steer to our goal, to where we need to go. And this is an opportunity. We know really what goes, and also having a compass with a direction that this is where you are, your west, south. That's what HMT was like for him. That's what he just said. And that to me is very descriptive, very visual of what you're going to gain in this HMT Train the Trainer, or what you're able to attain, or what you're able to gain. So I was really amazed by just what he's saying there. And, you know, not maybe amazed is not the right word, but I'm very intrigued to learn more, you know, to like, when is this going to happen again? I'm sure that's the questions you guys are asking yourself at home. So another thing that he said is like, you learn, when he learns, he teaches. This has been proven. This is a proven method as well. And Train the Trainer is doing exactly that. You know, these are people, if you don't know already, HMT is History Makers Training. And the people that just graduated that we're doing these interviews with were people that are or have already attended one HMT at some point, and they are then eligible to be trainers themselves. So they came for another HMT, which we call, they've just finished, we call HMT Train the Trainer. So they were trained to become trainers themselves. And Jefferson made a very good point there, because this has been proven that the best way to learn and to attain the knowledge of what you're learning is to learn what you want to learn and then teach others, show others how to do it. And that's exactly what we've done with HMT Train the Trainer, and what's happening with everybody that are here now that they've been certified as trainers. They're going to go back home to their various destinations or locations, and they will start their own HMTs. And you know, it's not just starting at HMT. Another thing that Jefferson mentioned is that being handed a business. Can you believe that? You know, Dr. Sunday is somebody that, you know, he seems so much ahead, and I think that's what Jefferson was saying just now, that somebody like him that seems so much ahead, even to envision to start HMT in the first place, and then continue with Train the Trainers. The people that set up the Train the Trainers, they were people that have attended several HMT. Pastor Derek, for example, he's attended several HMT. He's known Dr. Sunday for over 10 years. So putting this Train the Trainer together, it's wealth of information on its own. And Jefferson, who's like a really business-minded person, said it's just like being handed a business. Like, here, take it. Here's a business. This is a prototype. Do it. Go and work it out. Go and make it happen for yourself. So I'm even thinking of people out there that you don't know what to do. Maybe you don't have a job currently, or you know, you're thinking of what can I do? How can I, you know, improve my life and also improve other people's life? This might be something that you take note of and come back. And when we have another Train the Trainer that you attend, you know, yes, it is going to cost you in time. It's going to cost you flight to come here into Ukraine, and it's also going to cost you your accommodation and your stay and everything here in Ukraine. But it will be worth it. It will be a small investment to the prototype, to the business franchise that you will be handed at the end of the 5 days training. So my suggestion is, like, please take account of all this information that we're sharing with you. Take note. Make sure that next time there's a HMT, you are prepared for it. Okay, so I was just reading somebody's note. So make sure that to make sure that this is something that you can participate in. This could be a business for you that will help you and will help other people. Because HMT, as I know HMT, I've attended an HMT, not the Train the Trainer in full, but no, the HMT1, I've attended that, and for many people that attends HMT anyway, their life changes. They never remain the same. Something changed about them. And if you've heard, I think is Pastor Irene, she also attended the Train the Trainer, and we did a Kingdom Fruit on her on Friday. So take a look at her Kingdom Fruit and see how she's changed and how our lives have changed just from coming to HMT, just the ordinary HMT. And now you have a business in your hands. And finally, one of the things that that Jefferson mentioned is like duplicating this for other businesses. So it's not only that you can just use it as a HMT prototype. You have a shell, in his words. He said you have a shell that you can use to develop other training, other business ideas. So, for example, you mentioned success. If you want to train people on success, you have a prototype with this HMT Train the Trainer package that you've been given to develop it into another type of business. It might be success, might be anything else that you want to use it for. Then you can also do that. So we're just going to continue this interview. It's going to be a short interview. I think it's taking some time already because it's the first one today. So I'm going to ask Jefferson to tell us what he's going to do now when he gets home. I know he said a lot of things, but to specifically tell us what he's going to do going home now, and how he's going to move this HMT as a trainer, as a certified trainer, how he's going to move it forward. So over to you, Jefferson.
Thank you, Maiwa. I believe that I've been equipped naturally by life to be able to take HMT to the next level, and basically blow it up really good, package it very well, and impact my generation. But basically, anything that has to do with training a trainer or equipping someone to do what the other people used to do, it's something that you want to be part of because it sets you up for life. If for nothing, HMT trainers just pretty much sets you up for life. That's what I see. These are the things that you don't even learn in school. The school doesn't teach us these things. You can learn to be anything in school, but people always come out of college or whatever declaring that the school loan was just a waste. I don't know if you share that consensus. People always talk about that, like, hey, why did I go to school? Why did I go to school? You know, like, I've heard people say that. And if you just come to HMT for 5 days, it's enough for you. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't go to school, but I'm letting you know how valuable it is, the package. And I have more respect for Dr. Sunday after this because it just shows how he thinks. Very academic, very research oriented. Each topic was picked for a purpose, and each topic was designed for a purpose. You know, like when he talks about the fact that HMT is an environment, it's not a training. Like, who thinks like that? You understand what I'm saying? Who thinks about an environment as a factor in a training? Like, most people just need a place where they can run a projector, but he wasn't thinking about running, some PowerPoint slides. He thought about creating an atmosphere. You understand? So right now, I'm not going to run slides, pack people in a room, and I know what it is to create those atmosphere. And we know environment. If you've been to HMT, environment is 50%. Yes. Environment is 50%. You understand what I'm saying? And like I was saying, you can apply it to any other thing. You can go home and create an environment for success. You can go home and create an environment for love. Do you understand how limitless this is? You can go home and create an environment for communication. You can identify environment as a factor. You're empowered to alter an environment. You have the capacity to tweak an environment to your own favor. Environment is 50%. Character is 40%. Knowledge is 10%. So now you understand what it is, how to walk in character. And one of the videos, the Meeting with Jesus video, that video blew me away. Like, that all feeds into the environment. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Your level of thinking have to be deep enough to get to that point where you can identify an environment as a factor for success. Let me give you a generic example about an environment as a factor for success. Is just imagine you go home every day and there's TV on playing your favorite movie and you have an exam tomorrow. You just create an environment for failure for yourself because you're going to be distracted. But if you take away the TV, move it to the basement, or take it to another room where you don't go often, or even put it in a box, you give yourself one more opportunity, one more reason to succeed, is that you don't have a distraction. You know what I mean? And when you don't have a distraction, it's a totally different ballgame. Your behavior, responses, your commitments, your achievements is on a totally different platform, on a totally different level. And that's how I see HMT. So you can actually create any kind of program you want, just create the environment. Build the environment type of program into it. Not just like, you go to a training, you run some PowerPoint slide. But right now, I think like I can even build a conference package, and I can walk through each day of the conference. I could literally see the participants. I could make them do whatever I want. You understand what I'm saying? For instance, if I want people to come to my conference and they're yelling all through, I know what to do. I want you to scream from the minute you walk in the door till the minute you get out the door. And that reminded me, wow, this is just, I don't know if I should share this, but it's
share.
Okay, so I'm giving away a secret. So, all right. So, I bought a timeshare one time. This timeshare package. You know, they first of all gave us a bait. We're giving away $300. I was like, $300? Let's yeah. If you sign up, I give you a $300 Visa card. And I'm like, $300? What is the catch? They said just sit through a 1 hour meeting. I'm like, okay. All I have to do is to sit through a 1 hour meeting and you're gonna give me a $300 gift card? He said yes. I'm like, fine, let's do it. But in my mind, I'm like, you're not gonna get me to buy anything. And they're like, well, and they're like, I am so sure about the environment I'm gonna create that if you walk into that environment, you're gonna purchase something. Do you understand? And I went into this meeting, I was like, you know, I was just ready, like, I'm not gonna purchase anything. I'm just gonna sit through this meeting, I'm gonna walk away with $300. And they're sure, you know, they don't mind if you walk away with $300, but they are so sure of the atmosphere they created. You know, so I arrived at this venue and all that stuff, and, you know, they pitched and pitched and pitched and pitched. Pitched and pitched and pitched. I was like, okay, they're not gonna get me. And then they turned on a video, and then they just created an ambience that drives home the point of what they're trying to sell to you. And by the time I was walking out of that place, I had purchased a $10,000 package. That makes me pay monthly. I mean, it's not like I pay $10,000, but you know, like it's like buying a mortgage and I have to pay like every month. Like they make the money back. Even though they gave me a $300 gift card, they put me in a hotel for free. I was like, really? I said, yeah, free hotel, $300 gift card, just sit through a meeting. But by the time, you know, I think 90% conversion rates. Think about what I can do with what I've learned. I didn't understand that was what those guys were doing until I came to HMT. No, I still didn't understand. But until I came to HMT, train the trainers, it all fit in. I was like, whoa, the environment for success. For instance, if you want to build a mega church, it's all about environment. You create an environment that fosters growth. So many people don't understand the power of an environment. But it takes somebody who's been there to walk you through and tell you what that is going to do for you. Or, you know what I mean? Yeah. So the environment is very critical. Very, very critical. Very, very critical. Very, very critical. You see someone who's not doing well academically and you put them in a totally different environment and they just soar. You see somebody who has, you know, they say attention deficit disorder or whatever, and then you bring them into that environment, the academics just pick up. Do you understand? Yeah. So learning systems, you can sit down to design a learning system. And as you're designing the learning system, you're considering the environment, the ambience that learning system creates. And you can actually know what is the best environment from research. People who are into marketing, they will tell you there are certain colors that attract women. There are certain colors that attract men. Like if you have a website, there is a certain color you will have. The demographics of people visiting your site will be different. If it's not like something friendly, you know, there's certain colors that women are pleased to watch. And that's all part of the marketing. They're trying to get you to purchase something on that website. But the design of that website also tells you what, you know, it also tells you the kind of demographics you want to attract. So HMT training trainers is pretty much like opening your eyes to how you can win souls. You know, one person will speak to a soul and not win that soul. You would walk in there and they'll be crying, giving their lives to Jesus because you've been able to sell Jesus. Jesus is your product. You've been able to sell the Lord Jesus to him. He can see Jesus. You can introduce him to Jesus. And that's what we are, you know. We're supposed to introduce people to Jesus in every way we can, by walking in love, by touching people, by reaching out to the unchurched, all kinds of systems. but everything we do is all about the kingdom. So HMT training just took me to that level.
Wow. So what are you going to do differently?
Ooh, goodness. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to draw up a plan. I've actually started drawing up a plan to inculcate all that I've learned, but I want to implement quickly, because sometimes when you learn something and you don't start immediately to practice the things you've learned, and then say, okay, I'm gonna practice it in 6 months, you will not walk away with all of, because like I say, when you learn something, after a few hours you remember a certain percentage. After a couple more hours, the law of diminishing returns begin to set in. But if you begin to practice immediately, you learn something and you begin to implement it, it helps you more to get your desired results off of the training.
Wow, guys, that's Jefferson. I feel like I'm not so sure what I'm going to hear from the others, but I have learned from previous examples or even previous experience that many people, other people would have another point. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is that we're coming back shortly with somebody else, another graduate, for a post HMT Train the Trainer interview. You've heard it all from Jefferson. I feel like I've heard it all from Jefferson, but I'm looking forward to the next person, because I'm sure that they would have their own side or their own point of view to share with you. So if you would join us again, I'm coming back very soon. You'll get a notification. Just going to turn this off, so I'm doing it individually rather than a mass one where you have a long video. So please share this right now, and we'll come back again with somebody else to share their experience with you. Thank you very much, Jefferson, for this, and we hope to see you again in a little while, okay? In a little bit. Thank you. Bye.